Right now, as you're watching this, there are people dying, not from cancer, not from heart disease, from something doctors are only now beginning to take seriously: loneliness. And according to a study from Brigham Young University, being chronically lonely is as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Every single day. Your brain was never designed for modern life. For 200,000 years, being alone meant one thing: danger. No tribe, no protection, no food. If you were separated from your group, something was about to kill you, and your brain knew it. So it developed an alarm system. The moment you feel isolated, truly, deeply isolated, your amygdala fires. That's the ancient threat detection center buried deep inside your skull. It doesn't know the difference between being chased by a predator and sitting alone in your apartment on a Friday night. To your brain, both feel exactly the same. Cortisol floods your bloodstream, your heart rate climbs, your muscles tense. Your body enters full survival mode, ready to fight or run from a threat that doesn't exist. But here's where it gets dark. This response was designed to last hours, maybe a day. Then you'd find your tribe, the danger would pass, and your body would reset. What happens when it doesn't pass? What happens when the alarm never turns off? For weeks, months, years, your body starts destroying itself from the inside. Let's talk about what chronic loneliness actually does to your body. Not metaphorically, physically. First, your immune system. A landmark study from UCLA found that lonely people have fundamentally different gene expression than connected people. The genes responsible for fighting viral infections, suppressed. The genes responsible for inflammation, amplified. Your body, stuck in permanent survival mode, stops investing in long-term protection and starts preparing for immediate physical injury instead. The result? Lonely people get sick more often, heal slower, and are significantly more likely to develop autoimmune conditions. Second, your heart. A meta-analysis published in Heart Journal, analyzing data from 181,000 people, found that loneliness increases the risk of coronary heart disease by 29%. Stroke risk climbs by 32%. These aren't small numbers. These are the numbers we associate with obesity, with diabetes, with decades of smoking. Third, your brain. This is the part nobody talks about. Chronic loneliness physically shrinks the hippocampus, the region of your brain responsible for memory and learning. It accelerates cognitive decline. Multiple studies now link prolonged social isolation to a dramatically increased risk of Alzheimer's disease. You are not just feeling bad, your brain is literally getting smaller. And fourth, sleep. Lonely people sleep lighter, wake more frequently, and spend less time in deep restorative sleep. Remember that cortisol alarm we talked about? It runs all night. Your body stays half awake, listening for threats in the dark. One bad night becomes one bad week. One bad week becomes years of accumulated damage. This is what loneliness does. Not. Here's what makes this terrifying on a completely different level. This isn't a personal problem. This is a global crisis. In 2023, the United States Surgeon General, the highest medical authority in the country, issued an official advisory declaring loneliness a public health epidemic. Not a trend, not a concern, an epidemic. The same classification used for infectious disease. The numbers behind that decision: over 50% of American adults report measurable levels of loneliness. In the UK, the problem became so severe that the government created an entirely new position: the Minister for Loneliness, specifically to address it. And among young people, aged 18 to 25, the most connected generation in human history, with smartphones surgically attached to their hands, loneliness rates are higher than in any other age group, higher than the elderly, higher than people living alone in rural areas. Think about that. The generation that has never known a world without the internet, without instant messaging, without the ability to reach anyone on the planet within seconds. They are the loneliest humans who have ever lived. And social media isn't the solution. It's accelerating the collapse. Every hour spent scrolling through curated highlight reels of other people's lives triggers the same threat response we talked about earlier. Your brain compares, it finds you lacking. Cortisol spikes, the isolation deepens. You are surrounded by more human faces than any generation in history, and you have never felt more alone. So what actually works? Not motivation, not positive thinking, not downloading another meditation app. The science is specific. First, quantity is a trap. Research from MIT found that the quality of social connection matters far more than the quantity. One genuinely meaningful conversation does more for your biology than 3 hours of small talk or passive scrolling. Your brain doesn't count interactions, it measures depth. Second, physical presence is irreplaceable. Digital connection, texting, video calls, social media does not produce the same biological response as being physically near another person. In-person interaction triggers oxytocin release in ways that screens simply cannot replicate. Your nervous system knows the difference. Third, consistency beats intensity. You don't need a dramatic life overhaul. The research points to small, repeated social contact. A regular coffee, a weekly class, a recurring call with someone you trust. Routine exposure to safe human connection slowly dials down the cortisol alarm. It takes time, because the damage took time. But here is what the science ultimately tells us. Your body was built for connection, the same way your lungs were built for air. You can survive without it for a while, but eventually, quietly, invisibly, without drama, the absence begins to kill you. The question is not whether you're lonely. The question is whether you're paying attention. If this video made you think twice about how you live your life, share it with someone who needs to hear this. They might not even know they need it. And if you want to go deeper into how your body and brain really work, subscribe. Because next week, we're going to talk about something that affects every single person watching this. You don't want to miss it.